The Brewing Network Sunday Session is brought to you by the badasses at More Beer. Visit them at morebeer.com.
Great beer is about drinkability. Doesn't matter the style.
You guys are like walking beer Wikipedia. That's the first time that you've ever accepted me as a person.
Or you have a fermentation in your gut.
I'm jet propelled at all times.
How many guys do you think that you have the privilege to slap?
Somebody who's never tasted a commercial example, and this is how you know everything about this beer? Please, you don't.
I think that's bullshit.
I think it's bullshit, too.
Wow. Are you guys going to arm wrestle?
No. We're going to teabag fight.
Yeah. You heard of Junkyard Wars?
Can I get another high five, Beavis?
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
That's right. Good afternoon, everybody. We're live from the National Homebrewers Conference, and there are people here, which is fun, and it's nice to see you all. It's nice to see you all looking in tip-top shape after a great night last night.
It's nice to be seen and to see.
Yes. This is
what
the
I always
first,
say.
JP. There's several people from the Brewing Network staff that I've not seen yet. I don't know if they survived the evening or not, but I haven't seen Doc. I know he was escorted home at one point.
You're right.
In a dolly. Did you move the beers with?
No.
Yeah, he was just, I haven't seen Sam. I'm not sure if he's alive.
I saw him. He's looking fine.
He's good?
He's doing all right.
The last time I saw him, he was being, how do I put it? Violated by Vladimir Putin. Putin. There's a picture of it on Facebook.
Really?
Yes.
I would like to see that.
Well, that's how we party. Putin came out, and he wanted to go to the after party. We allowed it.
Poo-poo, as I like to call him?
He asked to violate Sam, and Sam agreed, I guess. I don't know how that works.
The problem with Doc is we assigned him handlers who had a stash of sour beer in their room.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily, in hindsight,
they
maybe
were
not a good thing.
They were enablers more than handlers, which was part of the problem.
Yeah. I want another beer. You can have another beer, Doc. Okay.
Well, we've been having a great week here at the National Homebrewers Conference. We're in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And is anybody in the crowd right here from Michigan in front of me? You guys have been just great hosts. And anybody specifically from Grand Rapids? Because this little town is fantastic.
It's pretty good, man.
It's like it has all the things of a big town, but there's nobody here, which is great. Like it has like 10 really good beer spots. And it's not that, I don't mean that they're empty, but like when you walk the streets, you're not running into homeless people, which, I'm speaking of home.
Yes,
San
absolutely.
Francisco. And it's like a lot of big cities, but without all the shitty stuff.
Well, we are close to Detroit, and I think people are just fleeing, and it's kind of the
right.
residual. There's a lot of good stuff. There's the Gerald R. Ford Museum, the Presidential Museum.
Did you go?
No, I want to, though.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know anything about the beer spots, but I see the museum from, I think, I'm a dork. I'm going to go there.
You're a fan of Gerald Ford?
Well, I think he was the last great president. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been unique. We went to several different places. I've been to Hopcat, which is probably my favorite place. I'm a creature of habit, so I find one place and I go there a bunch of times.
Sure.
Of course, Founders, who hosted the governing committee on Wednesday night, so I got to go try some pretty rare beer. There's a beer called, they said it's like their Dark Lord, and I hadn't heard about it, but it was really good. GBK or KBG, LMNOP.
Are you thinking of...
What is it? KPS. KBS. And
Kate Bitches Saturdays. Right.
Yeah. KBS, and it is on their tap list. They did a very nice VIP thing for the AHA, and I crashed the party. And some people from Michigan were there handing me this beer, and they were like, we don't get to try this beer. We have to pay $100 a bottle and wait in line, and we wear a wristband.
Yeah.
It's like you have to go through security, you get patted down.
Great.
And it was a really fantastic beer. And
awesome.
So Founders is doing some good things. So I've been enjoying my time. And then we keep going to this karaoke bar, which is across the street from the hotel, is where we keep ending up.
Z's, which is a great name.
Doing drunken karaoke.
Until they close.
Until they close.
I picked up some of the kegs at the ballpark this morning and talked to our guy, Mike, and he's like, yeah, so where'd you guys end up? Where's the after party? I'm like, well, went to this terrible karaoke bar.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, yeah, you went there?
Yeah.
I felt ashamed. Like, of all the great beer spots in the entire city, we went to the terrible one across the street. It's not bad. They have some good beer. But
yeah, that's some decent beer.
I've been here for 4 days. I've gone there 8 times.
Well, it's right across from your hotel, right? I mean, it's you can fall into that place.
And we can stumble home.
Right.
Now, Tasty, of course, is here with us, and you've been coming to NHC for longer than I have.
Maybe a few times, yeah. Not too many more.
This is maybe your, 11th or 12th year, probably.
I think it's my 10th, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you gave a presentation yesterday.
Yeah, that's the first time I spoke at the conference. Yeah, I did that.
What was the presentation on?
I talk about brewing consistency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which
is something that sort of thing I did. So, I mean, when I came up with a topic that was pretty obvious, I thought I could cover that pretty well.
Yeah. I think you did a great job. I was glad you showed up in person instead of just a cartoon.
Yeah, that's right.
You never know when that's just...
I think I should have, if I'd had the cardboard cutout, we could have used it.
You could have sat behind the stage.
I could have sat behind the curtain.
Yes.
And deliver that way.
Well, I thought it was a really great, it was a fundamentals presentation to me.
Yeah.
You kind of went through the
I didn't break any science there at all. No.
But I mean, it wasn't basic 101. It was like the fundamentals. If you're not doing these couple of things, you will never repeat that great beer you made.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great.
Yeah. What to pay attention to.
And it was the first time I've seen your brewing system and your brew deck.
A lot of people, that's probably the case, yeah. Right.
Well, I live near. You've never invited me to your home.
Well,
I'm in Michigan. It's the first time I see your home.
Don't be offended by that. Some more important people than you, actually, have been invited. And,
that's hard to believe.
Nobody has ever been there.
I see.
It's not that I'm embarrassed to show off my system. I just can't brew when people are there with me. I can party with them, but I can't brew with them.
I see.
Yeah.
I've been there.
They're mutually exclusive. I just can't focus. It's no fun unless I can just juggle all these balls in the air at one time. And as soon as I'm distracted, they all fall to the floor, and I'm behind, and this isn't clean when I need it, and the kettle's running over and shit like that.
I see.
Yeah.
JP, what were you there for?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Probably juggling balls.
Oh, yeah,
Probably ball juggling. I heard there were ball juggling. Wait, I can do that.
Yeah.
A long time ago, I did our club all got together there, and we brewed there at one time, like 7 or 8 systems or something like that.
No, it's separate. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Really? You were there? Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we've got
back
a few
before you
guests
were
today.
I'll check my security log on that.
Please do.
Do your kids still live with you, Tasty?
Yeah, I got one that still does.
You do?
A rebounder.
You're
rebounder.
Poor Tasty. He's never going to be alone.
Yeah.
That's why you're out all the time.
Oh, yeah. My dog's being watched. That's why, I'm out all the time. You don't have to worry about it.
Excellent.
Yeah, I can call it in.
All right. Well, we got a few guests to speak to today. Some of them I haven't met, so I'm not even sure if they're here. But I'm supposed to talk to the Michigan Hop Alliance if you're standing in front of me. If not, you were supposed to be here.
You missed it.
But that's all right. It was a unique thing because they made a beer here, a homebrew club called the Brewsquitos.
Okay.
Made a beer here of all Michigan ingredients.
Oh, right on.
Apparently, Michigan has the unique fortune of being able to grow everything you need for a beer. And not every state can grow good hops.
Right.
Michigan can. Not every state can grow good barley. Apparently, Michigan can.
Well, we'll find out.
Not every state has good water.
Right.
I'm not sure if Michigan does or not. Maybe they just clean it out.
I haven't had water since I've been here.
Anyway, if they make it over here, we'll talk a little bit about that. But we're also, in just a minute, I'm going to take a quick break, but then we're going to get Chris White over to talk. Have you seen the new White Labs packaging yet?
I have not. I've seen a photo of it from far away, but I don't know anything about it.
You're going to see it today.
All right.
They've come up with this new, and the important thing is it's not just the packaging; it's how the yeast is made.
Okay.
And we'll let Whitey talk to us about that. They didn't just do it; it wasn't a branding thing where like, hey, let's put a shiny new package out; it'll help us sell yeast. They actually recreated the way yeast is made.
Awesome.
And so that's the interesting part. So I thought we'd get him over here to talk about it. And because, you guys all use White Labs, right? I mean, everybody, yeah. Well, the vial, like we all love that vial. It's so easy to use, and it's gone. And then homebrewers were worried about that.
Yeah.
But I think now that they've seen the new one, it's no big deal. I don't know why we attach to things like that. Like, oh, God, it's the vial.
People are creatures of habit. Like you said, it's not just, it's everybody, right? We like the things, this is the way it is. This is how I learned. and I'm never going to change it because anything different is not the way I learned it.
Sure.
And it's it's a cool thing.
And we make up all sorts of reasons of why that is. Like, it's not going to work the same. It's yeast.
It's it's fine.
But anyway, we'll talk about that. We'll find out how.
Can you store your weed in the new packaging?
That's a good question, Tasty.
I'm a little concerned about that. Not that I don't have hundreds of these vials laying around.
Yeah, not that everybody doesn't have. Well, apparently for weed.
I guess.
Right.
We'll find out. Chris White can answer the tough questions.
He probably had to address that already.
Can we reseal our weed in it?
Right.
That's right.
And
well, maybe not weed, but heroin. I'm sure you could pack heroin in there.
Drug de jour is, yes, of course. Any of those.
I found weed that I can smoke again recently.
What's it called? Dandelion?
No, you know I can't.
It is real weed, huh?
I don't know if any of you is marijuana legal in Michigan yet? It's become illegal everywhere. Not here.
No.
Am I allowed to talk about it?
You don't have to ride a motorcycle with a helmet on, but you can't smoke weed.
Yeah. That's fine.
What are you going to do?
There's no helmet law here?
No.
Huh.
Yeah.
Seatbelt? Is there a seatbelt law?
Driving through, I saw a guy in a little rice rocket. He had a helmet on. His girlfriend in the back, no helmet.
He's like, yeah.
It's expendable.
Yeah, get on.
Just get another one.
She's just this week's. Oh, man. Well, anyway, so I can't smoke weed anymore. I haven't smoked weed in years because I quit. I used to be a pothead. Does everybody know? So I was a pothead.
Is anybody surprised by that?
And for years, I smoked a lot of weed. And then I stopped. I thought, what would be good is if I stopped doing drugs.
Right.
So I did. But the plan was always, if I stop, I'll be able to go back to it and do it once in a while. And then it'll be fun. I'll be like a normal person who goes to a party and smokes a little weed. So I did. I went back to it.
Oh, God.
And it was terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, I was the guy in the corner. I was just like, everything's wrong, and people are looking at me, and I don't know why did I do that thing that I did. And so I was very paranoid.
Right.
I became so I could never do it. Well, I went to a beer festival a couple weeks ago, and unnamed brewer.
Right.
A professional in the industry.
Just choose anyone.
Ken Grossman.
It was not.
It was not.
I have
Ken
some
Grossman.
details, but I'm not going to mention those.
And he's like, hey, here's some weed. And I was like, well, I can't.
Just like that? Just
I don't know why.
The deadpan delivery?
Like, do I look like... he just came up to me and he's like, hey, Justin, here's a bag of weed.
All right.
And I saw.
He gave me a bag too, by the way.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
See, but he had different varieties because he.
Where was I? He said he was quitting or something, right? So he was getting rid of it all, I think.
Is that
that's what it was. Yeah.
Here's my leftover drugs.
Well, he handed me a bag, and I said, I can't. I don't do that. And he said, oh, it's because you don't like to be stoned, right? Like you don't like the feeling of being stoned. I said, yeah, that's it. I just can't. So he takes the weed back. He goes into his other pocket. He gives me a different bag of weed, and he said, this is for people who can't smoke weed.
So it's like diet weed.
It's
great. Yeah. Sounds wonderful. It's non-alcoholic beer.
Low calorie. They had an ingredient list on the side.
I love it.
So I didn't do it there at the beer festival that I was at. I took it home, and I smoked some weed one night. And it was great. It was like smoking weed again. And
but you didn't get high.
But I didn't. But yes,
good.
Maybe it was great because nothing happened.
Right.
I was still just sitting there by myself.
Except you burned something and inhaled the fumes, and nothing happened.
I think something happened.
In 20 years, this is going to get cancer. It's great for you.
Oh man, I still have all of it because I did like one little.
You did.
And I did it.
Look at this guy.
No point going crazy when you're coming out like.
Yeah. I did it anally. That's how you do it,
right?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. It's been a while, but it's still the same.
Two knuckles, push. Yeah, it's good.
I don't know. Maybe that's why.
It absorbs through the prostate. It's great.
All right. Well, with that lead up, we're just going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Chris White, who's waiting right here to talk with us about the brand new White Labs Pure Pitch technology. So stay with us. We're live from Grand Rapids. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Are you a member of the American Homebrewers Association? Well, you should be. Members of the AHA can focus on brewing beer, and the AHA takes care of the rest. The American Homebrewers Association advocates on behalf of homebrewers like you to legalize the hobby in all 50 states and make sure that beer laws make sense. Plus, there are many great benefits that come with your AHA membership, like AHA member deals that give you awesome deals at bars, restaurants, breweries, and more. Zymergy Magazine and Zymergy for tons of articles, how-tos, easy-to-follow recipes, and news about the hobby you love, and access to the members-only content on homebrewersassociation.org. But the AHA can't do it without your support. Join today so the American Homebrewers Association can keep fighting for your homebrewing rights. Visit homebrewersassociation.org or join now from the homepage of the Brewing Network website. Relax. Don't worry. It's the American Homebrewers Association. Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Hey guys, JP here. On the show, you've heard us talk about the importance of using the right malt and the freshest ingredients possible for certain styles of beer. As a BJCP judge, I am always impressed when brewers make European beer styles and choose the proper base malts, which is something that really comes through in the finished product. BSG supplies your local shop with premium malt from maltsters like Fireman, Rar, and Crisp. These malts are the real deal for the most authentic beer possible.
BSG, Brewers Supply Group, is the source for quality malts. Crisp, Simpsons, and Patagonia are more of the amazing maltsters BSG brings to you. From pilsners to porters, use the right malts for every style of beer with malt from BSG. BSG, quality malt for a quality beer. As a brewer, you already don't settle for second best. You want great tasting beer and you want great equipment to make it with. So don't settle for the second best grain mill. You want a monster mill from Monster Brewing Hardware. Monster mills are tough, come in 2 and 3 roller designs, and are made right here in the USA from superior materials for longer lasting performance. Pick the mill that's right for you at monsterbrewinghardware.com and take Bevo's advice.
Trust me, it's always better to have a bigger tool than you think you need.
Monster mills have the best warranty in the business. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit monsterbrewinghardware.com now and check out all the mills and mill accessories. Don't settle for second best. Get a monster mill from Monster Brewing Hardware.
Customize your bottle opener with Collab bottle openers. Choose from a selection of anodized colors to make your new opener really stand out. Personalize a gift with custom engravings or upload your own graphic and get them customized. Collab bottle openers are made right here in the USA. Owners Mike and Nicole knew there had to be a better way to make a bottle opener. After years as a machinist cutting custom suspension wrenches for motocross and mountain bikes, Mike brought that machining expertise to the art of opening a beer. Check out their expansive line of bottle openers, like the Craft Brewer, an opener that doesn't destroy the cap. Or there's the credit card-sized brewer's card that fits right in your wallet, the Micro Brewer keychain opener. Or stick a magnet on their home brewer version and have a fridge-mounted bottle opener. Give your bottle cap some love with a Collab bottle opener at collabbottleopeners.com.
For nearly 15 years, homebrewers have been served by one place in Michigan where you can buy yourself a serial killer grain mill. Adventures in Homebrewing. Did you try all those great Michigan beers at the National Homebrewers Conference in San Diego or Seattle? Adventures in Homebrewing delivered. Did you see a great false bottom in your buddy's cooler or brew kettle? Adventures in Homebrewing delivered that. And did you see that great custom-built brew stand? Yep, Adventures in Homebrewing delivered. Since 1999, Adventures in Homebrewing in Taylor, Michigan, Ann Arbor, Michigan, and online at homebrewing.org has been serving homebrewers across the globe. Check out their innovative 2.5-gallon keg with metal handles, great homebrew kits, and the fully adjustable Serial Killer grain mill. Visit them in Philly for the 2013 National Homebrewers Conference. Not going to make it? Check out all the fun of adventures in homebrewing at homebrewing.org. For a limited time, coupon code BNetwork will slam 10% off your order. Bam! Adventures in homebrewing. Join the adventure at the Great Lakes Home for homebrewing supplies. Online at homebrewing.org. And don't forget coupon code BNetwork for a limited time. Join the adventure today.
And now back to the Brewcasters.
The Brewcasters.
On the Brewing Network.
What's burning? Something's burning. I tell a story about weed, and all of a sudden things are burning in here. Nobody else smells that? Something's on fire. We'll find out soon. If I start running, you should too. All right, we're back live from the National Homebrewers Conference in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and hanging out here with a lot of fun people. And we've got some beer in front of us from the good folks at Lagunitas from my home state of California, although now they're brewing in Chicago as well. And they have kindly donated both daytime and nighttime is what we have in front of us. And I'd never had nighttime before this week. It's a great beer. I think it's a black IPA. And, you know, JP's favorite. You poured the black IPA. You didn't know what it was. Push doesn't.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea, but it was good.
It's in your glass right now?
Well, I haven't tried the dark one. The daytime is pretty good.
The daytime is great. A session IPA. We'll be talking about a session IPA with Tasty, and Nathan, and I just put them together. Tastin.
It's like
they're like the
Brennifer,
new,
yeah.
They're the new Tastin. They're a dynamic duo of brewing. And Mills from Crackers, who is here from Michigan, we'll be talking about their session IPA that they brewed for our anniversary party.
I never got it. I don't even know about it.
We're going to try it here today.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, White Labs was a proud sponsor of our anniversary party, which we thank you for, Chris. And you were in attendance last night.
Were you proud? Is it proud, or are we just assuming that?
It was in a baseball stadium.
Okay, good.
Great.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And I was just assuming it, too. Whitey's too nice to say otherwise.
Yeah.
Did you have fun, Whitey?
Yes.
Did you dunk anybody in the dunk tank?
I did throw 2 balls at the dunk tank.
Who was
missed.
in? Oh. Who was in at the time?
Nate.
Oh, it was Nathan?
Yeah.
Nathan was great in the dunk tank because you're supposed to heckle people, right? Like that's why you're getting dunked. And Nathan, he's the nicest person in the world. He has no idea how to heckle. And I was watching him struggle with it. And it would kind of go like this. He's sitting there, and Nathan, I'm showing you what you like. He's sitting there, and this guy's throwing, and he would just point at him like, and you can see him trying to think of mean things to say, and he can't. So he'd just go like, ooh, da.
Yeah.
And I finally I'm like, Nathan, you're just grunting at people. You have to heckle. So then he got words out, and they would end up being compliments. He would be like, that was a kind of a good throw.
Yeah.
Or the next one, like the worst it got was, you just threw it a little bit soft, but you'll do better next time.
My favorite was, this guy's going to do it.
Yes, that was it.
You're encouraging him.
He's encouraging.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
So we'll talk to Nate in a little while about their beer.
See, the fun thing about that was there was games everywhere. Everybody was playing games.
Yeah.
That's sort of an unusual BN party.
Yes.
You had activities.
Yes.
that weren't drinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm so
kickball.
happy. Yeah, we had a kickball game, that's right. We had a fast pitch.
Yeah. Boxing thing.
Yeah. Did you go play games?
I observed.
You observed.
I did my normal thing. I observed.
That's right.
But I appreciated the activity around me.
Well, I figured there were going to be 2 types of people. There was going to be people who wanted to play, like kids again.
Yeah.
But even the ones that didn't would have fun watching that happen.
The voyeurs, yeah.
But I will say this. When we came up with the idea, we just thought, I want people to do something other than stand around and drink beer, which is what we're doing all week. And so let's find some activities. Let's make a playground for adults. But I'll admit that I was really worried that nobody would be into that. I was worried that we would have all this stuff on the field and everyone would still just stand up next to the kegerator.
Yeah.
It didn't happen that way. Almost instantly, they grabbed a beer and they went down on the field. They're playing cornhole, and we wanted to do this stupid kickball game. And we're a bunch of morons playing kickball.
Yeah.
And we wanted people to come play with us, and I thought maybe we'd get 10 volunteers. Half the stadium came down to play kickball with us.
It was pretty cool, yeah.
It was really fun. So we might have to do more activity
Yeah,
fests.
the only person who refused to participate in kickball was Tasty.
That's true.
I was standing next to him when you were calling his name.
Yeah, I knew
he was there.
I knew he was ignoring me.
Oh, man.
He probably wasn't even far from the field. He was just standing next to a kegerator. You ignored me last night, Tasty. I called you a million times to come be our... You didn't even have to play. You just had to be a first base, and you ignored me. I knew you were doing it. He says he didn't want to have a Palmer incident.
Yeah.
Where is John? Did you guys see that? Oh, my God. John Palmer took a digger like I've never seen.
Oh, really? I think, and he tried to recover and then took a second one and then rolled.
That's and there's a lesson to be learned here. If you're gonna
don't play kickball with the BN.
Yeah, don't be us and play kickball. So he kicked the ball and he's running to first, and he's running like Palmer is into it, man. I've never seen that happen. But he starts to go down, and here's the lesson that should be learned: if you start to go down, just go down. Because the recovery is what's worse. Because then you're running, but you're running off balance, right? Your center of gravity has already moved past you.
And his is pretty out there in the first place.
And now your legs are just trying to keep up.
Right.
So I believe he was at a 45-degree angle from halfway from home plate to first base before he finally, and it was his face that caught him.
Yes.
Like he finally fell on his face. So much so that I was so torn between making fun of him or calling 911. I thought he was going to come up bloody. Didn't you guys think like he really... So I'm sort of waiting to see his face before I see anything. He was fine. The man's like... He's solid.
Yeah, he's pretty solid.
He didn't even have a scrape on his face. He landed on his face.
He's like, whatever, I'm fine. And I'm going... Are you out or safe? You're fine, I'm sure, because you're moving. Are you out or safe?
Yeah.
That's all I cared about. I don't care if you're bleeding.
you had no...
I want to win the game.
Right.
I don't give a shit.
Well, I think he's fine, but has anybody seen him since... You've seen him today? Did he do a seminar today? He did his talk today.
Is he in a wheelchair and like an iron lung?
No, he was fine. Did he have a giant bruise on his face or anything? He's fine, like it never happened.
He's the ageless man. He's Dorian Gray.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's somewhere a portrait in an attic is aging and being all bloody.
It turns out John Palmer's 99. It's the beer.
Yeah.
I guess. Wow.
Or being real smart.
Yeah.
One of the two.
All right. Well, we had fun. Whitey, thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good
Pleasure.
time. All right. So you guys released a new product. And I call it a new product because it's not just a packaging. And that's what I think I want to learn about. So we talk about you call it Pure Pitch.
Yes.
And it's a technology. So can you tell us, first of all, why you left the vial and went to this?
Yes. It's a long story.
Okay. Can you
have a couple of hours?
Can you give us the condensed version?
I'll tell you 5 years of a story.
Okay. In 12 minutes.
No, really, what kind of keeps me awake at night is thinking about packaging yeast and keeping yeast alive and stuff like that.
I worry about having a heart attack. You worry about yeast. I love it.
Yeah. You're too young to worry about that. So I'm always thinking about, better ways of collecting yeast and things. And through a combination of some stuff I've seen in pharmaceutical industries and some stuff in Europe, I thought that if we could grow yeast, instead of growing it in a fermenter, a propagator, and collecting it and handling and packaging it, if we grew it in film like that, we could seal it right in the propagator itself.
Oh, I see.
So yeast settles out. We could collect the yeast right in the bottom of a propagator if it's made with a film like that by sealing it. So that was sort of the idea in 2008, and I went back to Denmark to recruit one of the guys who worked with us before, Troels Prahl, and told him about the idea and basically infected him with the thoughts of the idea, because once you get infected with this idea, it just like takes over you.
Okay.
And this is what happened to me. It took over me. And regardless of if people like the vial or the other the commercial package, I just knew this would be better for the yeast.
Okay.
So we started on a mission to try to figure it out. And Troels and I thought we figured it out that one trip on a train ride in Sweden. So he came back to California.
That's where I do my best thinking, by the way. That train from Sweden to wherever it goes.
Oh, it's a great thinking train.
I love it.
It was a 6-hour train, and we thought we had it all figured out. And we built a little prototype in Davis in 2009, and it took this long to figure it out. It was much more complicated than we thought.
Because we're not just talking about, let's talk about beer packaging for a second.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the difference between replacing a bottling line with a better bottling line or a
can
line
versus a bottle, yeah.
We're talking about a new way of manufacturing.
We're talking about not packaging.
Okay.
So that was the complicated part. Yeast, it's never been packaged. It's sealed in the container it was cultivated in.
So what happens now then is it goes from one container, or what used to happen, is you grow it in one container, then it has to be transferred to another vessel, is what you're saying.
You transfer it to another vessel and another vessel. It's the same technology that Emil Christian Hansen kind of created in Denmark in 1883 when they made the first pure culture. Okay. That's why we're sort of making jokes. It's the first big thing in a century. Yeah. Because we're all doing the same thing that Christian Hansen developed in 1883. Okay. That pure culture way. In more fancy tanks, but it's the same thing. So this is a really new thing. And I would go to packaging shows to try to find people to help me package this. Or, and they'd say, well, I don't understand. You're at this packaging show, but you don't want to package. Yeah. I can't help you. So
wrong show.
Everybody just kept saying, well, I get the flexible thing. I get the bag thing. Why don't you just buy my high-speed machine and fill these things high-speed? That's all figured out. Like filling ketchup packs or something like that. Yeah. I said, no, that's exactly what I don't want to do. I don't want to handle the yeast. I don't want to put it through a filler. I don't want to handle it. And everybody would scratch their head and send me away. So I had to really find... They kind of kept pointing to one guy, a professor at Fort Collins. Okay. And he's basically a rocket scientist. And wow, that's what he does. And he dabbles in packaging equipment and stuff like that to help out some people.
As a rocket scientist.
Yeah. Right.
Everyone needs a hobby.
So his name kept coming up, and we infected him with the idea, and he liked it, and he's been helping us ever since. So he's developed some machines for us, and So the sealing technology is actually very complicated to seal on liquid with this kind of pressure and a biological entity of yeast.
Okay. Because it doesn't want to seal. There's a bunch of obstacles in between.
We learned that in 2009 when we built the first prototype. Making the yeast is fine. I mean, you can make yeast in any kind of vessel. Okay. So we spent a lot of time figuring out how to make that prototype. But then actually making these seals, we had spilled yeast after spilled yeast after spilled yeast for years, to the point where I was getting very, very frustrated and considering that I was wasting the company's resources.
Okay.
I called...
so did Lisa White, by the way. I'm sure of it. She's like, what are you doing?
She probably did. I never let it up to her, probably. But I did call Mike White, Brother Mike, that viewers know here probably, our listeners. And I remember having a conversation with him one night from Davis, where we have that R&D lab, saying, Mike, I don't know if this is going to work.
Okay.
And I guess I just needed a pep talk.
And he gave you one?
He did.
Yeah. He folded his hands on his stomach and was like, well.
Yeah.
I would pay good money for a Mike White pep talk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very slow Mike White pep talk.
What did he tell you? Just like
he said,
get him, Tiger?
Yeah, it's kind of like, Chris, I've heard this idea a lot. I know you believe in it. It's going to work. You're just having some technical difficulties. Yeah. Just keep going on. It's something like just keep going on. Yeah. That's what he said.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at that point, you had really been working on it for a while.
Yeah,
anyway,
we were $500,000 in on research and stuff, and and time wise, and I just the idea that the yeast would be in such better condition was the drive. Yeah. Just knew we could get there.
Okay. Lisa called me for a pep talk too, but it was a different kind. She's like, "Can you please tell Whitey he's gone nuts? This is an insane idea. It's taking a long time." But I know how excited you guys all are now. Yeah. Because not only did it work, but you really did. You succeeded in. You never handle the yeast now.
Right. After we inoculate yeast in the propagator, which is now made out of this film.
It doesn't. You don't make it in this tiny thing, though.
No. It's a big floor-to-ceiling film like this. Not quite as high as the ceilings, but pretty high. So this is actually two film. There's the inner one you can see through the window. That's the propagator. Okay. And then once we cut out the little pieces, as this for a homebrew, we put the skin over it. It has the same properties of the inner film. For example, it releases CO2 gas. So the pressure never builds up in here, much more than a little bit of gas can, but it'll slowly release CO2, so it won't be in there when you open it. It won't gush anymore.
Through the package.
Yes.
How does it...
Because we designed the film.
How does it release but not let in? I don't understand how that...
Magic.
Well, mostly because it's still under a little pressure.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. So it's the same of why, like, I could just put tin foil over my carboy. Pressure's going out, and okay. I see. All right.
Similar.
So it's a giant bag.
Yeah.
Right? What is the do we know what
we
the material
use the word flexible vessel.
Flexible vessel.
We wanted to make this sexy from the beginning.
Yeah. Bag isn't very sexy.
No. It's a grocery store.
Right. You should put like pin-up art on each vessel.
Oh, they're beautiful machines. Yeah. Oh, they are. So we converted over San Diego to making yeast in those vessels, flexible vessels, a year ago.
Okay.
So all of our yeast is made in those vessels now. We've just been repackaging until we were ready to say, hey, here's the final product. So we haven't even talked about the new way of making yeast because it kind of seems silly to talk about a new way of making yeast and it's still in a vial.
I see. Because then you're packaging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we've been repacking using the same packaging line and everything we have, even though it's been made in those other propagators. So that switch was already made.
Yeah.
So we have our clean room is full of these large propagation platforms. Then they have the same chilling that a tank would. So we have complete temperature control, which is important in yeast propagation. We can access that from an iPad or an iPhone anywhere. I could pull it up right now and look at all of our propagators, see all the temperatures, see which ones are cooled, what temperature. We run different strains at different temperatures, and so it's key that's still as important in yeast propagation as it is in brewing.
Okay. All right.
Because we're trying to develop the right health in the yeast.
Okay. So all that process is the same. You're still doing the same great yeast. It's just a different way that it's grown up.
Yeah, different way of growing it, which leads to this different package, which sort of looks like we did the different packaging, but we didn't package.
How many steps does that alleviate?
Well, it alleviates, it's a lot of environmental savings, because we're now not cleaning those stainless steel tanks with caustics and acid and all the hosing and everything that goes along with the transfer, because when we blow this film, we blow it sterile.
Okay.
At that temperature, and we keep it sterile. We use filters, and so we can blow the film sterile, so now we're not having to clean and sanitize it. So all those chemicals usage is gone. The transfer saves a lot of resources there, but it's really about it's not the yeast cell itself not being moved around.
I guess that's what I meant. How many steps in transferring the actual yeast product does this new project alleviate? Couple.
It doesn't save us any time.
Okay.
Because it still takes as long to get the yeast.
But you're not
up.
transferring it into another thing, and so I guess what I'm getting at is there's potential for contamination and issues.
So before, you'd collect it from a propagator, and you'd have it we would have it in all these vessels, and then we would fill. So sometimes it would stay in those vessels and never get filled because people forgot about it. So we would throw away yeast, or we would look at it and say, why, this is 2 weeks old, it's not this week's yeast, it's last week's yeast. Why is it still sitting here? Oh, I forgot about that container.
Yeah.
So a lot of loss would happen like that, and a lot of time. Sometimes yeast would sit around, and we would have to throw it away. So now that won't happen because there is no intermediate step.
Okay. You just grow it and slim it down and
So how does it get down to that? If it's a giant vessel,
right?
You just start cutting little pieces of it?
Yeah. You heat seal little pieces of it.
Really?
But that's the hard part. And so we filed a patent on it. It was patent pending for a long time. That patent just is coming through right now.
Okay.
Looks like that's going through.
That was kind of my next question.
Because we had to develop a lot of technology for that.
Yeah.
This is yeast that's shipped in the container that it was grown in. Basically, that's the main part of the patent.
Okay. So
that hasn't been done before.
Isn't we all know there's other yeast companies, right? And this development, it's not just cool for White Labs. It's cool for people who make yeast because you've solved a problem. The problem of having to exchange vessels and contamination.
Yeah.
And everything. So isn't everybody going to want to solve that problem for themselves now?
Well, we pretty much did it for ourselves, but it could be. It could be. And that's why we have a patent on it.
Yeah.
So maybe we could license that or something in the future. But we were really thinking about our process right now because we have to package and ship yeast.
Yeah.
Say if you're a commercial brewery and you're doing a propagation, you usually just send it right from the propagator into the fermenter, so you don't have to worry about packaging and storage. But that's almost what this does. Like, it eliminates that packaging and packaging too. The storage is still here, but since it releases gas, and it's not handled, it's not beat up in the whole packaging process.
Yeah.
It has a higher viability over time.
Okay.
We've already seen much higher viability and vitality at 6 months versus 6 months in a vial.
Wow. What do the pros get? Is it like one of these the size of JP?
Squeeze me into your beer.
Is it just like a giant one like that?
It's there's a 500 ml size, which we call nano, which is kind of smaller breweries use, or they use it for propagation.
Okay.
And then there's a 1500 ml, which is our 7 barrel, and then there's a 2000 ml, 2 liter, which is our 10 barrel.
Okay.
And then they make combinations out of all that. So if somebody's brewing 20 barrels, they use 2 of the 10s.
Got it.
2 of the 2 liter packages, which is very similar to how we're doing now. We ship yeast to commercial breweries in 2 liter bottles of different volumes.
Okay.
So now we don't have that flexibility of just like add another 100 mils or something, because we did lose a little flexibility in going in what we like pour out or whatever or fill in going to something like this, because you have to make the machines to do a certain size.
Okay.
Because you can't just like
you can't
you're not
open
just
it.
like pushing a heat seal bar down and like different things. It's a machine that puts in exactly the right amount of that measures the right amount of weight in here, and we have to know that there's the right cell count in here, and so they're pretty high-end machines. So it's this package, a 500, a 1500, and a 2-liter.
Okay. I'm pretty sure, I'm realizing right now, I've seen some of this process. I've seen the large vessels. I don't think Whitey trusts me yet. I've known him for almost 10 years. I've not seen the part that does the sealing. I don't think you trust me. This is your secret.
Yes.
That you only share with staff.
I remember seeing some of it in Davis a few years ago. Now that we're having the conversation, I'm remembering these. I'm going, oh.
You trust JP?
Right. I'm a terrible secret giver. Edward Snowden, I can learn a lesson or two from him.
Well, we had to learn, in those days, we were just still learning about film. Like, we're used to stainless steel and even polypropylene, a pharmaceutical plastic. But this whole film industry is something completely bizarre because you could blow film to be anything for 6 layers, 10 layers, 2 layers. We put UV coating in it just to protect the yeast against any possible UV damage.
So that window's no problem with UV right there?
Same kind of material that would be in sunglasses.
Okay.
Block UV rays.
Excellent.
Yeah. So we can kind of design. We have so much more control to customize anything than we ever did.
Yeah.
Before, it was sort of make the yeast in different sizes and put it in the vial. Put it in a 2-liter bottle. But now, anything we want to add to this in the future, we can.
Okay.
Especially that's on the outside. The inside of film, you really can't because it's a large piece of a larger propagator, so it's not like it's got all sorts of little features like a nozzle or whatever. You can't put that all into the propagator.
Well, it's great because I remember the kind of process you guys went from the other blue kind of the blue top vials to the kind of soda bottle blanks essentially. All that kind of process. Now you've solved all of that. You make your own, like you said.
And we were always. So that original blue vial, it would leak once in a while. So it was really the guys at More Beer across the way here that were just pouring some Pliny, by the way.
Oh, really?
There's a big line over there.
The hell did I miss that? All right.
I know where you can get some. Don't worry.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So Chris Graham there with More Beer, I don't know if that was late 80s or so, late 90s, was saying, hey, Chris, we like your yeast, but you got to stop leaking.
Yeah.
Because when it was just sold in San Diego, no problem, no leaking. I would hand deliver it to somebody. But then when you start shipping around, those old vials would leak. So then I found the vial that we use now, basically in an AM/PM. There was candy filled in it, and I thought that looks like a great package on the way to a beer festival, just stopping in to get gas. And so I found out how to get those vials, and those work for a long time, and they're great. They're indestructible. You could drive over them in a car. But the caps on those will bust sometimes, too.
Oh.
So those actually leak once in a while when they're, you ship a couple hundred of them in a box, and they're all banging on each other. And sometimes the vial itself is fine, but the lid can crack.
Okay.
And then the yeast leaks. So we think this holds up even stronger than those lids. Because it's all about learning about the sealing.
Can I drive over that with my car?
I don't know,
and will
man.
it survive?
I think we have to make that video.
All
We put that video of us on the old vial when we switched to it. We made a video of driving over it with Chris Mueller's van, who was working at White Labs at the time, throwing it against a wall.
Nice.
And we put those on our website, and some people still remember that.
Was that on Betamax? How long ago
those
was
were
that?
like
Laserdisc.
videos weren't on websites in those days.
Right,
That was like we had to figure it out.
You sent around tapes.
Yeah. You
Watch
clicked
this.
on the video and waited 5 minutes for it to start as it was uploading.
Yeah, I watched porn then, too. Should we have JP stand on it? Are you willing? See, I have 2 questions.
It's still
for
a prototype. That's not the real one.
So, this one is?
You mean this really didn't come from lot number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7?
No, that's a make-up number. I don't know how you figured that out.
That one.
Because the machine that puts this skin on, which is another machine just to put the last skin on, is not even in San Diego yet.
Oh, I see.
We're still, we say this is releasing in the fall, August, September. Right now we're rolling out the commercial sizes. We did a couple hundred of them that way this week for the first time. The first one went to Singapore on Monday.
Excellent.
There's a brewer there. He really wanted to be first.
Okay.
He saw it at CBC in this year in Denver. So we sent it to him, and so we're rolling this out for commercial right now. And that's a much simpler machine. I mean, it's not a high-speed machine to put the skin on.
Okay.
A 500 or whatever. It's more of a hand-done machine. So, but the ones to put these on for the homebrewers are more high-speed, so that's still on its way.
Okay.
So we're going to finish the commercial rollout, and then we're going to start selling these or releasing these for homebrew. So August, September, you'll probably see them.
Okay.
So but we wanted to announce it here at NHC because this is the National Homebrew Conference.
Yeah. Right.
What a great place to talk about it. And we usually don't have a lot of new things at NHC, right? A new strain, a new this or that.
Right.
So it's actually an exciting conference for us to talk about something new.
Yeah. We usually just come over to see Mike White.
Right.
But now there's something new to... Yeah.
Right.
And to get a
And
pin.
Mike's not even here.
Yeah. Why is Mike not here?
Oh, boy.
It's
I don't
a whole
know.
other thing.
We had 3 or 4 people not show up this year for various reasons. One person got hurt.
Oh.
Some equipment broke down that people need to stay fixed at White Labs.
Okay.
Mike just forgot about it, I think.
Yeah. I got other things going on.
Yeah. He's
All
too
right,
busy
well,
for us.
I'm excited about it, Whitey. I think it's an amazing technology, and I can't wait to brew. Can I get the first homebrew one and brew a beer with it?
Anybody listening?
Anybody? Can I get the first? Yes.
You know what?
I'm like the last
I
person
would
on
say
earth.
yes,
Right.
but you can't just say it once. You got to be like that guy in Singapore, and every week
I have to
call,
keep bugging you.
Are
Yeah.
you ready? Send it to me. Send it to me. Send
Well,
it to me. So can I put it back on you and say it's your responsibility to make sure you get the first one?
No,
Yeah,
no, you're not going to do it.
Yeah, I'm worse than you for one, and I shouldn't be the first one to do it anyway because
you want the beer to be drinkable afterwards.
Tasty should be the first one to do it.
Okay,
and I could bug you about that.
That is a great idea
because at least then it'll be a good beer when it's done. Like you don't want me to go, I made this shit out of the first vial. Tasty,
all right,
but I
done.
get to choose the beer style. Yep. Come on, I got to do something.
It's going to be a Gruit.
Yeah.
A smoked Gruit.
Yes.
Hefeweizen Imperial Session IPA.
And you have to brew it with rocks and not fire. I get to set the... All right, you can do whatever you want. Tasty gets the first vial. I'll keep bugging you about it.
It's not a vial.
Okay. It's not a vial.
What are these called? A pouch?
How are we going to... We're all going to have to break that habit, Whitey.
Right. We call this pure pitch.
Pure pitch. All right.
All right.
Because
it's pure.
The idea that you can't contaminate it by packaging it.
Yeah, and you pitch it.
And
Makes
then
sense.
pitch it. Pure pitch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think you're gonna change us because you did it with the vial. Like that's now it's like a normal word. Everyone uses it.
Right.
It's like Kleenex, right?
Right. I still might use the word. I kind of like it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't start using the word vial. Homebrewers did.
Yeah.
And we have accepted that as a cool name for it.
Yeah.
So I might still call this a vial. I mean, why isn't this a vial?
It's a pure pitch vial.
Right.
Can I call it? Can we break it down and call it a PP?
Yeah.
The pure pitch.
You put some PP in my beer.
What's up with the PP?
Yeah, we're calling. We are using that word. We're using PPB at White Labs for pure pitch barrels, the commercial sizes.
Nice.
Yeah.
You should stop doing that, even internally. All right, I got to get to another segment. It's been great talking about your package, Whitey, for this amount of time.
I'm glad you enjoyed talking about my package.
Yeah. All right, pure pitch technology. By show of applause, do we think it's cool? All right.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks.
Good. I've been hearing about this for years. I think it's very cool. I'm excited to see it out.
Great.
So, all right, thanks for being on the show,
Thank you.
Whitey. We're going to take a quick
Thanks,
break.
sir.
When we come back, we're going to taste some beer from Prankers that he brewed with Tasty and Nathan. So hang in there. It's The Session, live from NHC in Grand Rapids, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
What'd you get? More brewing ingredients?
Yep. You know what I love about Brewmaster's Warehouse?
The $6.99 shipping?
Well, yeah, but...
the in-store classes for beginning brewers.
Yeah, that's cool, but...
The Brew Builder. Creating and saving your recipes online is awesome!
No, yes, but...
The cheese-making supplies.
No.
The wine-making supplies. The distilling equipment and liquor flavorings.
All that stuff is awesome, yes, but what I really love is that the guy who runs it is totally hot. And that Brew Builder software is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Brewmaster's Warehouse brings you flat rate shipping on great equipment and ingredients to make beer, wine, cheese, and spirits at brewmasterswarehouse.com. And if you're in Georgia, stop by Brewmaster's Warehouse Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Visit brewmasterswarehouse.com today because it's totally hot.
Oh, yeah.
The biggest innovation in brewer's yeast in 125 years is here.
Yeast that has never been exposed to the environment.
See it for yourself at NHC in Grand Rapids.
Pure yeast and fermentation.
White Labs.
When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a Certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Have you ever dreamed of attending the World Brewing Academy? This year, thanks to Lallemand and Danstar, one lucky brewer will make that dream a reality for free. Lallemand and Danstar invite you to enter the Beer School 2015 contest. One lucky grand prize winner will receive fully paid tuition to the 2015 World Brewing Academy web-based concise course in brewing technology worth almost $4,000. From now until December 13, 2014, every Danstar yeast packet you use is your ticket to enter. Visit danstaryeast.com for the details and to print your official entry form. There's no limit on the number of times you can enter, so get brewing with Danstar and get your entries in to the Danstar 2015 Beer School Contest. Whether you want to build your home brewing skills or build a career as a professional brewer, this course will change the way you think of beer and brewing. Enter at danstaryeast.com and get the dry yeast advantage with Danstar and Lallemand Premium Brewing Yeast, and enter to win.
What could be better than great blues music and great beer?
Yeah, rock your summer right at the 5th Annual Pleasant Hill Blues and Brews Festival. Saturday, July 19th from noon to 6 p.m.
Come enjoy tasty beer, delicious food, and free live music.
JB and Den Review, Frankie G and the Conviction, Jinx Jones and the Kingtones, Karumpa Through, and Loose Blues.
Unlimited beer tasting and VIP access available at beautiful Pleasant Hill Park. More than 25 of the best and some of the newest Bay Area breweries will be on hand, like Lagunitas, the 21st Amendment, Sierra Nevada, Heretic, Lost Coast, Rocksteady, and Almanac Brewing. Get your tickets right now for the Blues and Brews Festival at bluesandbrewsfestival.com. And Friday night will be a pre-party concert from 6 to 9 p.m.
Come enjoy the music of Lumberyard.
Don't miss the Pleasant Hill Blues and Brews Festival for great blues and great brews. Get your tickets today.
Hi, I'm Jason Harris, the proud owner here at Keystone Homebrew Supply. We're thrilled to be entering our 20th year of supplying this great industry. And to show you, the Brewing Network Army, how much we appreciate your support, we're offering you 10% off your first order on our website, KeystoneHomebrew.com. Just use coupon code BNARMY at checkout, and I'll get your order out the same day. My goal at Keystone Homebrew Supply has always been to have a complete supply of everything a brewer could want. When you place your order online or when you come into our store, it's our goal to have everything on your list and more. One aspect of KeystoneHomebrew.com that we're really excited about is the ability to fulfill customers' exact grain bills. Do you hate to wait? Keystone Homebrew Supply can get your precious yeast and hops to you within just one day if you live between Connecticut and Virginia, and within 2 days east of the Mississippi. KeystoneHomebrew.com. Coupon code BNARMY. I'm Jason Harris, and I approve this message.
Get on in here, boys.
You're tuned into this session.
Because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
All right, welcome back to the program. We're still live here from the National Homebrewers Conference. We're in the Homebrew Expo Hall. I remember when it was called the Hospitality Suite. You remember that, Nate? Now it's the Expo Hall. Push will get you all turned on here in a moment. He's still figuring these things out. I'm going to fuck with him later about this, too. We're here in the Expo Hall, It used to be
Deluxe Expo Hall.
Yeah,
it's not
now
just
that it's grown, it's big. There are people here with like real booths.
Right. It feels more like a trade show.
It does, but in a good way, because we're seeing like there's some amazing gear going around here. One of the booths are the fine people at homebrewstuff.com. I think if the live audience looks to their right, you'd see them right there. And they're wonderful supporters of the Brewing Network, and they always come out to the NHC too and bring you some good things. I think they own a brewery now too in their home state. So great beer people at homebrewstuff.com, and they always support us on the program. So I just wanted to thank them, and it was good to see them out here. I got to party with them at BNA 9 last night a little bit too.
Did you bring them out on the baseball field?
They came out and partied with us over there, so that was a good time.
That was a great party, huh?
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It was the most intense party yet.
It was
for the BNAs.
Yeah.
We top it every year. What's with that?
You know, I don't know how we're going to keep doing that. I do think we've done that. We've stepped it up pretty much every year. Eventually, there's a ceiling, right?
On an airplane.
Yeah.
Someplace.
Mills. Airplane party would be amazing. You just blew my mind. That might have to be BN20. It's going to take a while to get the plane.
Really easy to pull off.
It's going to take a while for Nathan to build the plane.
Exactly. Well, speaking of big round numbers, next year is 10.
Next year will be 10.
So you better do something. We better do something good for that.
I want to own up to something, because on one of the session shows sometime back, we were having trouble finding a venue. We couldn't find a venue in Grand Rapids, and I think I was talking about it on the show. If there's anybody still here from Michigan, it's you that I'm speaking to. I'm apologizing. Because on the show, I sounded really lackluster about coming out here.
Oh.
I was a douche. Like, it sounded like, we're going out there.
I got to do this.
And a listener pointed it out to me, sent me an email. And what happened was, so I was really lackluster about coming out here. Accidentally, I didn't even realize I was doing it. But I was. And because I couldn't find a venue. Then we found this ballpark. And it was amazing. And they said, come out and take a look at it, and we'll let you do anything you want. And every time we threw them another stupid idea, like, could we have a kickball game on your field? Yes. Can we get your mascot out there to do creepy things to him? Yes. And they kept saying, and as I got excited, I go back on the show, and I'm talking about it, and my frustration had left about not finding a venue. So all of a sudden, I'm excited about coming to Michigan. And
they made it so easy for you.
They made it so easy. This listener writes me. He's a very nice man, and he points it out. He just goes, hey, I just want to thank you for now sounding excited about coming here, because you've been excited about NHC, and a couple weeks ago you just sounded like a douchebag that you have to go to Michigan. And I was like, you know what? You're right, and I apologize. I've been having the time of my life, and I think we threw the best party we've ever thrown.
The dunk tank was the killer. That was awesome.
And even Nate got in the dunk tank.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, once again, thank you to Michigan folks for having us, and the AHA for doing this every year and bringing it out here, because this whole town is my new friend, I think. I'd like to come back. Not to see you, Mills.
I understand.
Mills is here from Crankers, which is not in Grand Rapids, but it's like
north.
Big Rapids?
Big Rapids.
Is there like a medium rapids
We're
and like a
splendid.
sort of rapids?
There's decent rapids.
Yeah, bland rapids.
They're from Little Trickle.
It is.
So you're down in Big Rapids,
correct?
At Crankers Brewery.
Yep.
Now we've had Mills on the program before, so you might have heard him there. And he contacted Nathan Smith to talk about brewing a beer together for this. Is that about how it went?
Absolutely.
He first had to confess how the BN had corrupted his life.
Yeah.
He blamed us for the fact that his children cannot eat sometimes.
That makes Mills was a teacher before, so at least it wasn't like he left some high-paying gig. He kind of left one shitty gig for another shitty gig.
It was a part of my 12-step program to reach out to Nate and be like, listen, you guys really messed me up with this.
Right.
So,
Well, well done making a nice lateral career move.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
And so you started brewing at Crankers how long ago?
2 years.
Okay, so a couple years ago, and then this year, obviously you find out the conference is here, so you reach out to Nate. And did you have a beer in mind when you reached out, or were you really just like, hey, guys, I want to brew a beer with you. I don't care what.
Yeah, that's really where I was coming from with it. Just really wanted to go whatever direction he wanted to go.
Adam really threw it back in my direction and said, what do you think?
Okay.
We started with a pale ale. And then we brought Tasty in a little bit later, kept refining the ideas a little bit more, and then said, well, let's go for it and do Session IPA.
So you got to one point, so when you get to Session IPA, you go, all right, well, we got to talk to Tasty now.
Exactly.
We can't do this without Tasty because he's kind of the Session IPA guy.
We were starting dry hop pale ale, and then we're like, well, maybe let's just lower the ABV a little bit more, be good for a conference beer.
Okay.
And then bring Tasty in. He's been doing some research on that idea and that style.
Got it.
Then make it a beer that we can all talk about and use for our various talks and NHC-related stuff.
So each of you are using the same beer for your discussions.
Yes.
Do you guys want to try the beer? I mean, we don't have to sit here drinking it in front of you. Will somebody help me out and just grab the pitcher? Just obviously we don't have much, so give everybody like a 1 ounce, whatever you got to do.
Most people have a glass. So go ahead,
if you've already got a glass,
not that beer. No.
Oh, that's not it. Oh, this one.
This beer.
There we go.
The red beer.
I think that's the daytime. People are like, wow, you guys really knocked it out of the park. It tastes like Lagunitas. What is this beer called?
BNA 9 Session IPA.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Mills wrote to me and was like, hey, can we call it like a Hop Grenade IPA? I'm wounded about that now because I'm suing everybody in the world.
Have there been some issues?
And, we'll sue Crankers as well. What the hell?
Yeah.
You got a guy on retainer.
We figured we'd set one up for you so you get practice at this.
Yeah.
In particular, there's a brewery in Michigan. And I won't name the name, but there's a brewery in Michigan who's using the Hop Grenade.
Oh.
So I just gone through this whole thing, and then I didn't want this to even appear on your menu as Hop Grenade IPA, and somebody from other brewery goes in.
Yeah. Just so you know, it is called Hop Grenade.
At the brewery.
Oh, it's too late.
I won't sue Mills. He's too nice. He's like Nate.
No, sue him. That way you're covering everybody, treating everybody the same way.
Yeah. Mills is so nice. It'd be good practice.
That's a good point. All right, so we're getting the beer in people's glass here. Why don't you tell us about it? What is it that we're drinking specifically? Tell us about the ingredients. And
this 1048 beer with mostly raw Arturo as the base, about 10% Vienna, about 12% Crystal 15, and any other malts we put in there, Tasty?
No, that's just 3 malts.
Just those 3 malts. Yeah. Mashed at a higher mash temp, 154.
Yep.
The idea being that we'd keep some body in the beer and keep it from being too much like hop tea or too thin. And we went with about half the bittering coming from an initial 60-minute bittering charge, and then the rest of the bittering at Whirlpool. And we're getting bittering at 60 minutes from Magnum.
Yep.
And at Whirlpool, we're using 2 new interesting hops from Hops Direct. They're Petersburg Farms, Belma, and Legacy. And then the dry hop, we're using a new experimental variety. Doesn't have a name yet, just numbers from Hopsteiner. That's called 05256. I think 05256 is really driving a lot of the aroma in this beer. It has like a very familiar complexity, as I like to think about it. It's kind of like a citrus pine and then a lot of dank. You guys know what I'm talking about when I say dank, right?
We're talking about weed a lot in this show.
I know, right? How's that happening now?
I don't know. Go ahead.
And that really drives a lot of cool aroma in this beer. The Petersburg Farms folks are nice enough to donate the stuff that we use in the Whirlpool. And then the 05256 came from Faction Brewing in Alameda. So it was nice to have some further collaboration with other hop farms and pro brewers on this one, too.
So it has a nice bitterness, I think, in a way that you know it's an IPA, which is what you're going for. But because of the low gravity, that it could have been too bitter, right? Is that basically what the problem is?
You're too bitter, too thin, or one of the terms Tasty likes to use is hop tea.
Hop tea-like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And Tasty was instrumental in the amount of crystal malt, the type of crystal malt, and the mash temp that we finally decided on.
Give you the confidence to do it, right?
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your ideas on that, Tasty.
Well, the beer I came up with earlier was a session pale, and 25% of the grist is a combination of Crystal 15, Caro Pils, and Crystal 40. And then the rest is like half raw, and then the other 25% is a 50-50 split between Maris Otter and Castle Pilsner. The idea being to create a lot of malt complexity, but then that 25% really dextrinous malt, even with that, we'd mash it at 154, and it creates like a lot of body in the beer. Now that beer you could hop at like almost 70 IBUs. We're doing a 60 here. And as you taste this beer, you have to think to yourself like, wow, a 60 IBUs is quite a bit for a 4.5% beer. That's really what you've got in your glass is a small beer with a lot of hop character.
Okay.
And you measured this at 60 IBU, right?
It's
Mills?
a measured IBU as well, yeah.
Yep. That's pretty cool. It doesn't necessarily drink like an aggressively hoppy beer, but it has enough hop bitterness to balance that mouthfeel and a little bit of sweetness that you're getting from the crystal malt. I think that's key to trying to make this style work. You think about those parameters in general, and you can dial it in for your own version of a session IPA. One of the things that kind of blew my mind about this beer, too, is that I always would work with liquid yeast at home, and Mills is really comfortable with working with the 04 dry yeast in his brewery, not wanting to change up too many variables so that we could actually nail a really good beer out of the brewery. We stuck with that, and I'm really impressed with the results. Nice and dry, doesn't seem overly estery or that there were yeast issues.
Yeah, it's really clean. It's got a really nice, clean yeast character.
We were just talking about that in the brewery, and I think with that dry 04, for me, I really don't start getting that classic British character out of it until you start getting around over 6.5%, 7%. When we do some strong ales like that, some maltier strong ales, I think those esters start to come out around 7% a little bit more. We pitch probably in the mid-60s and then let it run up. We've also done Cal Commons and Kolsch with 04, and you can go very, very clean with it. That yeast will work through it. So, and it's a badass with diacetyl too.
Oh yeah,
you can yeah. Just let it raise at the end, and it'll clean it up.
Okay,
it'll clean it up.
Yeah, there's none in there. It's a great taste.
Yeah,
beer.
very clean.
Now, Tasty, with the amount of crystal, you kind of alluded to the fact that they could have gone more. Had you suggested more, and they sort of fought back against you, like, we're really afraid to do more? Were you originally saying more?
No, I might have been pushing that direction, but I thought the Vienna that they used was this Durst Vienna, which is also a palate, a building sort of malt as well. So it really that and the low level crystal, the Crystal 15, which I think it did end up being what percent of the grist? It was about 25% of the grist, right? Or 20% or
20% was that? I think
it was about 20%. These like highly dextrinous malts.
Yeah,
I mean that's pretty aggressive, right? And from talking to Adam, I mean, I could sense that he was a little bit apprehensive about, like, well, what are we going to end up with here? Is this going to be a sweet beer? I've never done this before. And then, rest assured, we'll be fine here.
One of those things that keeps you up at night, Mills. Now, now it's not the students attacking you in class, but it's what might happen in the brewery.
That's right. No more defensive wounds from school. But,
I can see that. A little insight into Mills. I'm getting to know you a little better, and you're like the most laid back / terrified person I know. Like you're cool with everything, but inside you must have been a little terrified about this beer, because what if you screwed it up?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's anytime you put a beer in front of anybody, it's mortifying.
Yeah,
I don't know, and maybe that's weird.
And we were putting it in front of everybody in your state,
for sure, for sure. Yeah, so I mean, there's always that element to it, you know, and I think I tell myself it's mildly healthy. You know what I mean?
to be concerned about these things, yeah. But when you don't sleep for 8 days, like all the way through fermentation, not healthy.
But that's where the you just need to balance the uppers and downers at that point. It's just
Mills has his sleeping bag and pillow next to the fermenter, singing its songs at night.
He sent me daily updates.
Yeah,
we have to check in.
Yeah, he's like, 2 more Play-Doh. All right, Mills, I get it. It'll be fine.
I didn't actually sample it today, but I was just really close to the fermenter, and I felt like it was really doing well. So I just wanted to let you know, Nate. Okay, bye.
Okay, thanks.
Message after 14 missed calls. The beer's fine. Beer's still fine. Well, I think it came out great. You guys made an excellent recipe. You guys didn't brew on site with Mills, so you made the recipe and let him go to town.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we did it meat color style. Just call it in.
There you go.
We totally just called it in. Yeah,
nice. I love the outsourcing.
There's a video floating around. We had a local film kid come in and shoot some video of the brew day. And
Where's that?
He did a real nice job at it. I put it up on Facebook, and we'll bounce it around too. I shot a copy to Scott.
Okay.
As well.
Good.
So feel free to post it wherever. He did a real nice job with it.
All right, we'll check it out. I got to let you guys know about Siebel real quick. America's oldest brewing school, more courses than any other brewing school. You know they're here, by the way. You can go talk to them right there. I recommend that you talk to Keith, by the way.
Keith Lemke, yeah.
He's a maniac.
Yep.
So you can talk to him about school, and he'll be serious about that. But then talk to him about something else.
He'll make you laugh.
He will definitely make you laugh. More courses than any other school, including advanced homebrewing, craft distilling, and beer style courses. He's professional. The professional level brewing courses available both campus-based and web-based, because let's face it, most of us are lazy homebrewers sitting at home. And so you could do it, from the web, and that'd be fine too. The faculty includes some of the best-known and most respected instructors in the world in international brewing. So go check them out at SiebelInstitute.com if you're listening live, or if you're standing here in front of me, go talk to them. You can learn more about brewing. I think one of their courses just happened this week before NHC. I know that some of the more beer folks were over there, course? And it might have been one of their homebrewing courses.
Very cool.
Yeah, they're good people over there at Siebel. Thanks for supporting the show. All right, guys, we're going to take another quick break and come back and wrap things up. But thanks for sharing the beer with us. You could still go try it again and hear Nate talk about it, right? You're still doing a presentation tomorrow?
I'm talking all about new hops at 10:15 or 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, and this beer will be served at that talk as well. So I'll go deeper into Legacy, Belma, and 05256 and what I perceive of those hops at that talk as well. So bring your ideas and questions there.
Excellent. Thanks. All right, thanks for being here, guys. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back in just a minute.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
A few things happened 30 years ago.
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and the gadget guy Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California, and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com. Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today.
Hi, I'm Jamel Zanishev, and in addition to my work on the Brewing Network, I write the Style Profile column in every issue of Brew Your Own magazine.
Hi, I'm Sean Paxton, and when I'm not prepping for the Home Brewed Chef on the Brewing Network, you can find me writing articles on how to cook with your home brew for Brew Your Own magazine.
Greetings, cretins. This is John Palmer, and when I'm not writing for Brew Your Own, I'm reading it.
John Palmer, Sean Paxton, Jamil Zanishev. If you love listening to them on the Brewing Network, you'll love reading their articles, tips, and recipes in the pages of Brew Your Own magazine. Join Jamil, John, and Sean 8 times a year in Brew Your Own. And when you subscribe to BYO on the Brewing Network website, half of your subscription price goes right back to the BN to support great beer and food programming. So sign up for Brew Your Own magazine through the BN website today so you can listen and read your way to better homebrew.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on 2 gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew pots, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon configurations. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker pot, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
All right, BN Army, it's trivia time. What's the only homebrew shop with over 1,000 recipe kits, $4.99 shipping on orders over $100, and is also home of the Wolf Shirt? The one and only answer is Austin Homebrew Supply. For over 20 years, they've specialized in creating recipes such as the best-selling Texas Blonde Ale, Apocalypso, Hot Bomb 2.0, and Double Chocolate Stout. And they just recently unveiled their small grain kits that produce 1 gallon of beer. Visit AustinHomebrew.com to browse their extensive catalog of equipment and ingredients. They also have mini clone recipes of your favorite commercial beers. They're the exclusive retailer of BrewVent yeast fuel as well, yeast nutrient, and the all-new Bodybuilder. Follow Austin Homebrew Supply on Google Plus to participate in video hangouts on popular brewing topics. So visit AustinHomebrew.com today and make sure you sign up for their weekly email with news and specials. Austin Homebrew Supply, AustinHomebrew.com.
Segmented, demented, fermented.
It's the session.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're almost done, but we got just a couple of things left to do. I just had a thought hearing that intro coming back that, one way to top this year's anniversary party would be to hire Steel Panther to come play the 10th. I'm kind of being serious right now.
But that would probably cost like $2,000, and that's a lot of money, right?
That's kind of a lot. It might even be like $2,500.
Well, that's the high end, yeah, but I feel like maybe they would cut us a deal because we've probably made them $100.
I mean, I could probably up. All right, so tickets this year to the party, and you got dinner and beer.
Right.
It was $50.
Yeah.
If you did the VIP, which got you extra beer and dessert, by the way, that was like $80.
Uh-huh.
If we got Steel Panther, I'm sort of doing a poll here. I'm talking to you. If we got Steel Panther to play,
right?
Would $100 be too much to go to the beer festival? Nate's like, fuck no.
Yeah, Nate's like,
Steel
whatever.
Panther, bro.
Yeah, because Nate would get up and do a solo, but
So
the lady in the center's like, I would never. That's just no.
So $100 to be offended? No. I don't think one person shook their head other than Nate. So, all right, I'll talk to him. I'll see if I can get him down.
How about if we didn't offer dessert and instead, yeah, right,
$99 a ticket. All right, I'll figure it out. Hey, next time you're shopping for homebrew supplies, go to KeystoneHomebrew.com and check them out. Keystone's been a supporter of ours for a long time also, and I like them very much. They're nice people. All our sponsors are nice people to me.
There's Nico's kind of a jerk.
Nico's the only one who's not a nice person.
Yeah, otherwise everyone's great.
Everyone, they're nice people, and I screw up their ads all the time, too, so I don't know why they're still... but go to KeystoneHomebrew.com and check them out. Just very nice people over here.
Yeah.
In the meantime, it is time for our Logic Homebrewer of the Week. And we like to do this from time to time, where we bring a homebrewer on to talk about how they got into brewing and their whole... Because we're all kind of geeks about other homebrewers, too. So we like to do this segment. And today we've brought in Mike Sardina. And Mike is currently with Society Brewing Company. And, in fact, he brought you all, if you went to the party, a keg of beer that was poured. Actually, not for everybody, because I think we only stuck it in the VIP room. I'm sorry, non-VIP.
So if you were rich and had the foresight to buy a VIP ticket.
I don't even like the VIP thing. It's such a weird thing to do, but I get asked for it all the time. On the years that I haven't done it, I get yelled at by people who want the VIP.
Well, I think originally the VIP were supposed to get in early, and that would be better. But then we had to change some things around.
Yeah,
so,
but I still get asked for it every year, so I can't. I mean, I'm happy to do it if it's what people want. I find it odd.
No.
Anyhow, Society Beer was in the VIP room, and so Mike, though, like most pro brewers that we talk to, started out homebrewing before he did that.
Yeah.
But what I find most interesting about Mike is that he actually left a good job. Like, you were a lawyer, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You mean this isn't Moby?
No.
Oh, I thought it was a musician Moby, but
I'd be a lot cooler if I was Moby, so.
I don't know.
Toss up.
The leaving law it's a unique thing in brewing.
Yeah.
For me, because for one, it could be a very lucrative career. You could have, just lived your life making a lot of money suing people or whatever other thing but it's also unique in brewing, I think, because a lot of people seem to leave law to get into to beer making. So it must suck
Sean O'Sullivan, you know.
Sully, yeah.
Patrick Grew.
Yeah.
Went to law school as well.
Okay.
You know, I started homebrewing law school.
You did?
And, that's when I really fell in love with, brewing and beer.
Okay.
During law school. Then I, sat for the California bar exam, took it, passed it. Was working as a patent litigator in Menlo Park.
Okay.
And just, miserable job.
Right.
But again, certainly very lucrative.
So I wasn't exaggerating, literally suing people as a patent litigator.
Yes,
okay.
sir. Trial lawyer.
But you hated it.
Trial lawyer. Ugh.
Give me an idea. Like what was your income or potential income at a year?
6 figures.
6 figures.
Starting out. And then
to start
from there. Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
So that's like
and now you're not like it's not like you own a brewery either.
No.
You like sweep the floors or something at society.
I take out the garbage.
Right.
I help package. I get to watch Travis smash in at 7:30 in the morning. It's pretty awesome being a home brewer to be able to do that. I also do a lot of the business stuff.
Yeah, you're still young though. You'll lose them at. So when you say 6 figures, that's like $1,000 and some change, right? That's what they mean when they say 6 figures.
Well,
yeah,
the decimal and then the ones after it.
Yeah, that is a lot of money.
Dude, I make that in a year. I made $1,000 last year
and 24 cents.
Yeah. But you do the legal stuff for society now too.
Yeah, so I still wear my legal hat from time to time. So that's nice.
How helpful is that as a brewery to have somebody on staff who knows this stuff?
It's helpful for us, but it's also scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Because it's, the climate, these days in terms of trademark stuff, and that's just, the tip of the iceberg.
Sure, and it's just going to get worse as it goes. So I don't envy you for that side of things.
But generally, one good thing about this industry is people are willing to work together. If you're reasonable and you approach it in, the right way, usually you can find a solution to pretty much anything.
It's that 1% of the time that doesn't work, and it really sucks.
Well, I think a lot of people want to try to get press. So they'll push an issue maybe that were otherwise they wouldn't have tried to push.
I think that's
just to get
right.
that negative, we're going to do this and we're not going to stand down and we're going to fight the other guy.
Right.
And in hopes to kind of build some sort of brand image. And
so do you think I'm wrong that nobody knows how to Google anymore when I'm bitching about people who use a logo?
No.
They don't know how to Google? That they're just doing it to get publicity?
I don't know. Maybe sometimes. I don't know. Maybe they're kind of throwing. But I think maybe it's more of the next step where then you go, hey, you need to stop doing this. And then they go, oh, you're trying to crush the small person in the world.
Yeah.
But anyway, as a homebrewer,
homebrew
was the reason I got, to meet Doug and Travis. It was I reached out to them and said, well, as a homebrewer, I want to make IPA like you guys are making. And, they just do it in a completely different way than any other brewery that I had ever been to. And so, it was through a series of emails with Doug and Travis, and they were super forthcoming, with recipes and process and, dry hop methods, that sort of thing. And it was just, back and forth. It was like, these guys are awesome. And, when I decided to make that transition, which, again, not to toot your horn too much, but was very much inspired by the Brewing Network and, kind of do the thing you effing love every day type, mentality. It was like, I want to be working, with these guys. I want to be at this brewery. And it was very much like a kind of go for it or screw it up. And luckily, it's been working out so far.
So during that process, so you're working in the legal field and you start homebrewing. How long are you homebrewing before you quit the legal job?
So it was about, 3 years during law school. And then I was a litigator for 3 years. So another 3 years on top of that. And it was extract to start, all grain, when I had the lawn, in San Jose. And then back to extract when I moved to San Francisco, on the balcony there.
Nice,
And then, now I don't really homebrew. It's more, working with Travis, talking to him, like, why is a recipe like this? What are you doing, with this part of the mash? Or, okay, well, we boil off for this amount of time. Why?
Yeah.
And it's just, kind of learning the 20-barrel scale that we have there.
Okay.
It's interesting to go from extract to all grain back to extract.
Yeah.
It's kind of suck.
But just by
It was more, I don't have room to store.
Sure.
Square footage in San Francisco's.
But how was the?
priceless.
I see the point too. Like, did you enjoy the beer as much when you went back to extract, or did you find yourself going, "Oh, fuck! I wish I could have made it all grain."
Yeah. It was still the very much, this beer's fucking great because I made it.
It's more of the process to you than the actual.
Yeah, and just being able to turn off my iPhone from the partners for 4 or 5 hours and make a beer.
Thanks for getting brand specific on your smartphone.
Thanks, JP. Oh, yeah, awkward, touchy.
Stop
It's not
touching
awkward.
me,
It's not
JP.
awkward at all. Don't worry about it.
You want to do gay chicken with Mike?
It's just two bros having a good time.
Gay chicken?
Yeah, let's go.
Who's good? Is it if we bail out or if he
No,
bails
he bails out.
Let's see. Y'all know how y'all want to play along with us? Grab the guy next to you.
Come touch Mike.
All right, we'll leave that out of this particular. There are people here who've never heard the show. They're going, what the fuck? Why does anybody listen to these idiots? You guys gave us nutters for the, speaking of idiots, for the. I think I have a pair. Did you guys see them? The Society Brewing Company gave us branded nutters.
And they were amazing. I wore them in the dunk tank.
I know. You wore them backwards,
them.
actually, which I was confused about because they do have some sort of built-in, component, and I was trying to figure out how that would feel backwards.
I'm like a Ken doll, basically, where there's really, a six-pack, of course, right, and fully chiseled chest, but nothing really to speak of down here, so it's fine. But I wanted the branding because you had the hop grenade on one side and then your logo on the other side, and I wanted people to see that instead of my flat butt.
Well, I'm just glad that, we kind of borrowed the hop grenade image very liberally, and I'm just glad that you didn't pick John, right?
You just haven't gotten the letter yet.
It's in your inbox. Don't worry about it.
No, my trademark lawyer's here partying at NHC. So when he gets home and the hangover is gone, you will be getting a cease and desist.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
So I couldn't hear as I was grabbing, did you tell the story of Dougie and the Nutters
No,
at all?
no.
So Dougie was Dougie is one of the owners of Society Brewing Company, this great brewery we've been talking about. But he was a listener of ours before that when he was working another job, and he came, and we had at one point in the show talked about Nutters.
Yeah, I think it was a lunch meat thing.
In fact, I do remember on one particular Sunday session I was wearing them, and I think I jogged in place and one of my balls fell out.
That's right.
And look at Nate. Like, yep.
It's like best show ever.
And so somehow it became a thing, and we did one of our BN anniversary. Do you have a picture of my balls? Is that what you're about to show?
No. That's me posing in Nutters.
Why does he have it on his phone?
That was really
that guy parties.
Is really the question.
How did he get it?
That guy parties. I'm gonna
right. So show now. You gotta show everybody. You gotta walk around and show everybody your.
That's all right. That's a private moment.
So Dougie showed up at our 4th anniversary party, I believe it
San
was,
Francisco.
wearing Nutters. Well, now he's grown up. He's still the same retard he ever was, but he's got a brewery and everything else. Anyhow, he thought he'd give something back to us. So he gave us
the ability to look like a retard.
This is not silkscreen. These are like embroidered, stitched. Got Society on one butt cheek, and I think maybe we should wear them for club night tonight. So just walk around. And,
our California short tan.
Have people, good, man. Serious. Yeah. And thanks to Dougie and everybody. Travis. Travis too. Travis never talks to me. He just looks at me weird.
Is what he is.
But I love them all down there. So thank them and thank you for bringing the Nutters.
Society wishes you guys a happy night.
Now, do you still homebrew now that you're at a?
No, like I said, most of my time is spent at the brewery, and it's when I do get the chance to be involved in brewing. It's on the 20 barrel system.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us. Thank you for being our Logic Homebrewer of the Week. Brought to you by our friends at Logic Inc. You can go to EcologicCleansers.com and check out their Straight A and their One Step. Excellent and completely non-toxic and biodegradable cleaners. Made for homebrewers, by homebrewers. EcologicCleansers.com. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to wrap things up. We're doing more shows from Club Night tonight. In fact, JP's going to do a Dr. Homebrew.
That's right.
Love that show.
They will evaluate a beer right before your very eyes. So, of course, the point of Dr. Homebrew is not to judge a beer, but to see if there are flaws and how it could be done better and help with the process, right?
Exactly right. I call it an interactive BJCP score sheet. So quite often, as homebrewers, we'll submit a beer and we want to get feedback, but a lot of the feedback we get is just how it's not to style, not how to change that. And that's what Dr. Homebrew is all about. So we'll have my normal guys, Brian and Lee, who are master BJCP judges, are not here.
Okay.
So we're going to have Nathan and the great Gordon Strong sitting in. So we're going to have a Berliner Weiss and a Maybach, and we're going to judge those and talk to the homebrewers themselves, learn a little bit about their process, how they got the beers to where they are, what they want to get out of this whole review. And then I think, actually, the guy who has the Berliner Weiss is going to have a keg of it. So come to the show, hang out for the taping, and check it out with us.
Sit down over here, John.
Come
Palmer.
here, Palmer. Oh, yeah.
So we're doing a Dr. Homebrew, and then I think if we have time, we're going to do another session from Club Night tonight, too. Although I'm going to I might get lazy and just start and just go hang out and drink with people.
I was hoping just to go to Founders and skip Club Night.
Skip it all together? No? Now you got to work. Now you got to do Dr. Homebrew.
How you doing, guys?
Hey,
before we go, I wanted to get John Palmer here. John Palmer, I'm going to apologize in advance for the topic, the embarrassing topic.
But you're hermaphrodite, right? Is that right? Okay.
I wanted to talk about kickball game last night, and I'm looking at you, and you look great. Like you're a man of steel.
I think you guys did an awesome job of scripting the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And the special effects were awesome. I mean, the same team that was used on Pacific Rim for, those slides and falls.
That's
what you got.
If you're just joining us and you didn't hear the beginning of the show, or you didn't see the event, we'll call it, at BNA 9.
It was an event.
John Palmer, running down the first baseline, just took a digger like I've never seen before.
Well, I was dodging a tag.
You were definitely dodging a tag. But what I was discussing was that where you went wrong was that you tried to recover.
Yeah.
Had you just gone down, it might not have been so bad.
Well, see, I started to tuck, but then I realized I would be tucking a glass into my ribs as I hit the ground.
Good call.
And I thought, that's probably not a good idea. So I threw that out in front of me.
Okay. And then,
Yeah.
So I had a moment when this happened to you, John, because I was right there. I was on first base. You went down next to me, and I've got a microphone. I'm talking to people. And it's this moment where I'm like, can I laugh and point? Or is he bloody and dying? Because you landed on your face, I thought. And I kind of waited to see your face come up from the ground to see what the mess was. Yeah. And it was fine, so I laughed and pointed.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't care about anything. I just wanted to make sure that you were safe on the base.
That would have been important. But,
which I don't even remember anybody ever tagging you out.
Oh, no, he got tagged.
We're going to look at the footage of
that.
Okay.
Other people on my team weren't quite as sensitive as me. They came over and hit him while he's still on the ground.
Yeah, a dude named Logan. I signed his book earlier today.
Oh, good.
So.
I almost killed John Palmer.
Yeah, the famous tagger at Grand Rapids 2014.
Anything sore? Any bruises?
Last night, this arm was feeling like it was squished.
Okay.
It was
heart
like,
attack.
Yeah, it was like, ow. But, and then the broken ankle, that's better.
But that's better today.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for getting down there and playing with us, John Palmer.
I enjoyed it.
Good. I was really worried about you for a second, so I'm glad that you had fun. And it's kind of an epic moment in homebrew, I think. And in front of a stadium full of people, we all got to watch John Palmer take a digger. That's kind of rare. I own it. Be proud of it.
I am. I can't wait to show it to my kids.
Excellent. Because I've already ordered the T-shirt. I saw John Palmer take a digger. We'll be selling it online.
All I got was his lousy broken ankle.
All right, we got to get out of here. Go drink some beer. I do believe that the keynote is going to be happening soon, so you can head over there, and we'll see you all at Club Night. Thanks for being with us. We'll do some more shows later, and thanks to all our wonderful sponsors who have been here and the sponsors of BNA 9, and most of all, thanks to you listeners for hanging out with us and being so nice to us all week.
Yep.
It's really great to meet you and get to share beer together, so I appreciate that very much. This has been The Session, and we'll see you next time.
JP's an asshole. He's funny, he's balding, he's homeless and rude. The brewcasters love him and gay guys do too. JP's an asshole. Sometimes he's real funny, we laugh at his wit. The Yanni just wishes he could brew worth a shit. JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP does great as his charity